Thank you very much, Paul. Vicki and all the children. And John used to regale us like that all the time at lunch in the Senate dining room. And John's acting like Teddy always took advantage of him. You should have seen it when they both teamed up on somebody else. John, I remember we were talking about Angola once, and you and Teddy were working out a deal with some of our more conservative friends, and you agreed on a particular course of action. And I was, along with your colleague, Dick Clark, you and Dick and Teddy, myself, in Teddy's office. And being naive as I was as a young senator, we started about how we were going to approach this issue on the floor, and Teddy said, we got to do this. And I said, but that's not what we said. We told these guys we were going to do that. And Teddy very politely, Teddy Jr., tried to say to me, well, no, we're going to. And this went on for a few minutes, and finally, John, in a roaring voice, stood up and said, Biden, what the hell you think this is, boys' state? That was my introduction to the squeeze of Kennedy and Culver. What the hell you think this is, boys' state? You know, I know we're all here today to celebrate the life of an incredible man. But I want to first say to the whole Kennedy clan, I want to give thanks. Thanks for your father. Thanks for your husband. Thanks for your uncle. Thanks for your brother, who in an astonishingly and totally unexpected way ended up playing an important part in every critical moment of my adult life. It was literally an accident of history. But he crept into my heart, and before I knew it, he owned a piece of it. Today, I was thinking about how Teddy was, I wouldn't be standing here were it not for Teddy Kennedy. I wouldn't be standing here as Vice President of the United States. I wouldn't have been a United States Senator were it not for Teddy Kennedy. He was the catalyst for my improbable win as a 29-year-old kid running for the Senate in a year when Senator McGovern only got 35% of the vote in my state. I was running against a fellow who was extremely popular, an incumbent senator, and although it surprised the hell out of people, and we were coming astonishingly close, we needed something else. And out of the blue, literally, about 8 days before the election, Teddy Kennedy showed up. And he showed up in a neighborhood that we refer to as Little in Wilmington, Delaware, and drew a crowd. It was actually a dinner of a couple thousand people, and a community that would vote nationally for the Democrats, but on all the statewide offices always voted Republican, including for the Senate and the House seats. I ended up winning that neighborhood. I ended up winning the election by 3,100 votes. And although I don't know for certain, it seems highly unlikely, Congressman, I would have ever won were it not for your father energizing people the way he did at the very end. I remember what he said. He stood there and he ended the speech by saying, I only have one problem with Joe Biden. I think he's a little too young to be a senator. And literally the next day the Wall Street Journal played it straight. Kennedy says Biden too young for the United States Senate. But 7 weeks later, when my wife and daughter were killed in an automobile accident, and my two boys were very badly injured and hospitalized, one of whom was with me here today, Hunter, the other's in Iraq, I got a call from your dad. And I didn't know your dad too well. I mean, I just met him that one time. And here I was, an Irish Catholic kid from Scranton, Pennsylvania, who only thought of Teddy Kennedy and the entire Kennedy family in sort of a distant terms, hushed tones. And here he was on the phone. And he not only was on the phone, but he called me in that hospital almost every day. And about every other day I turned around, literally, Vicki, there was another specialist from Boston, Massachusetts, one of your great hospitals, sitting next to me, who I never asked for and didn't know I needed, but I needed. He was the prod who convinced me to go to the Senate, because I had told my governor